welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a little story time about how I was the side chick. Um, this was requested by the beautiful Kahleia. I will put her side chick story time in the description box. It's lit, y'all. Okay, so basically I met this guy through Erin. And if you guys don't know, Erin is my best friend. So me and Erin had gone to Olive Garden that night. And her boyfriend calls while we're at Olive Garden. And he's like, "Can you pick me up?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we go to pick him up. And he comes out into the driveway. And he's like twisted. Like, he is just, like, swaying back and forth drunk. And I'm like, "You're fucked up." He's like, "Really? You can tell?" I'm like, "Yes." So, he's like, "Are you sure you don't want to come inside and chill?" And I'm just like, "Alright, fine, whatever." Erin's like, "Is that cool with you?" I'm like, "Yeah." Okay. So, by the way, this is an important part of this story. The lady that owns this house that they're staying in is cracked out on drugs. She lived there, and then I think her son was another one of the roommates, and then Erin and this dude. So Erin's boyfriend, like, we go back into, like, the hallway to go in his room, and Erin's like, "I guess somebody was supposed to give this lady some money, and they said no." So she's got the phone in her hand, and she picks it up, and she throws it against the wall. About damn near hits me, Erin, in the head, and I'm just like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." So I go into Paul's room, and I sit down, and the three boys are sitting there. They had split a case that's about the size of, like, a Mountain Dew case of the Blue Ribbon beer, and they were just tanked already. So I walk in, and his friend, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Cydney, blah, blah, blah," and his friend is like about to fall off the damn chair looking at me, and I'm like, "Ooh, shiny." Okay, so honestly, at first, y'all, I was like trying to hit on his roommate, but his roommate wasn't picking up what I was laying down, so I'm like, "Fine, he's cute, so I'll flirt with him." So we're gonna call him Edward. Okay, so Edward's like looking at me, and we're kind of talking, kind of flirting, and popping jokes back and forth. We're kind of the same personality. He has no filter, I have no filter, so everybody's cracking up laughing. And so he's like, "Do you want to come back to my house and chill?" Like, asking everybody. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." And Erin's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." So before, we were still sitting there, and Erin was like, "Oh, I guess the lady that owns the house had asked Erin to take her to go get cigarettes." So Erin was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And didn't tell me or anybody else where she was going. So we walk out into the driveway, and Edward had saw that I have walking issues, so he's like, "You can take my arm." And we're standing in the hallway, and I'm like holding on to his arm kind of, but I kind of don't want to, because I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, I don't know you yet. And he's like, "It's okay, you can hold on to my arm." And I'm like, "Oh, okay," like all in my ear. And I'm like, "Oh, alright, okay, I'll hold on to you anytime you want." So we get out of the driveway, and Erin's gone. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And at first his roommate was like, "She's gone." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah." So we go out there, she's gone. And we wait for her to come back, and the boys are like, "Man, I'm about to start walking." Because I guess they lived like 3 or 4 blocks away, maybe. And they were like, "It's just down the street, it's on blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Dude, I can't walk that far. Somebody's going to have to carry my ass." Because And the boys were like, oh, don't worry about it, we got you. So we're looking down the street, we're about to start walking, and here she comes. So I'm like, oh, I can walk, it's not that far, I'm good. So, or it's not that far. I don't know what I'm saying, but Edward picks me up mid-sentence, and I'm just like, oh shit, hi. Like, so okay, I think I was in the back with him and his roommate at first on the way. Oh no, I was in the front and the boys were in the back. And so the boys were like, can we go Wawa and get beer? Because they want a beer. So we go to Wawa. And by the way, I do not condone underage drinking, so don't do it. I was not 21 at the time of the story. So we get it to Wawa, and Edward's like, I'll buy you whatever you want to drink to me and Erin. And Erin was pregnant, so Erin's like, I'm pregnant, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, I'll drink whatever you drink, I don't care, because I didn't have a specific drink that I drank at the time. But okay, so we get back to his house, and we open up the case of beer, we start drinking, listening to music, like, all just vibing and hanging out, whatever. And it was about 9 o'clock at this point, and Erin was like, I want to go lay down. And I'm like, you see me trying to get to know this dude, don't you? So she was like, okay, I'll come back at 12:30. It was like 9:30. And I'll come get you guys. So I was like, okay, cool, fine. So Erin leaves, and I'm like getting to know this dude, and he's super sweet, super chill. And she calls back about 20 minutes later, boo-hoo, crying, bawling boogers, and saying that the lady that owns the house took her car keys away from her and is telling her to get the fuck out. And is trying to stab her. So I'm immediately in oh hell no mode. Like, just because she was pregnant, like, I'm in protective mode. Like, I was like, no, like, we gotta go. So his friend Dom, I think, yeah, his friend took us up there because his friend had came, and then he took me and Paul up there, and I'm like freaking the fuck out. I'm telling this guy, like, if I don't come back, you know what happened, just come get me from the police department, because oh my god. Okay, so we get there, and they have her in the ambulance. I didn't get to see her. Well, her boyfriend tried, but he was too drunk and he smelled like alcohol, so they wouldn't let him near her. But he was gonna see if he took me out there, if they would let me see her. And because I had been drinking, but I didn't stink. So we get in the house, and he puts me in his room, and the cop is sitting there interviewing not the son that was living there, but the other roommate. And the other roommate was saying that this lady had a steak knife, like not even like a steak knife, like the kind with the old wooden handles, and was waving it at both of them, trying to stab both of them. And this, like, oh my god. So I pop my head out, and she immediately freaks out, and she's like, who else is back there? I'm like, it's just me. I'm Erin's best friend. We figured she needed me, and so she's being taken to the hospital, probably for an anxiety attack at this point. I don't even know. And so we go back, because I left. What 20-year-old Cydney did on purpose was leave her stuff at this dude's house, so we have a reason to go back. So I have no shoes. I had, like, I had like boots, but I had no shoes, so I had socks on, and I had like shirt and jeans. So it starts raining, my socks are wet, we get back in the car, and we go back there, and we hang out for another little while. And so me and this guy are just talking, getting to know each other, whatever, and he gets all key sweat on me, and I'm just like, oh shit. He's just like, when's the last time somebody made love to you? And I want to make love to you, and I'm like, oh shit. So, yeah. So I'm like, it's been 3 or 4 years, blah, blah, and he was like, what? So, yeah. We end up going to Pound Town because at this point I've had like 5, 6 beers, and every time I put my beer down, he'd drink it because he's an alcoholic, and I guess he'd get to the point where he couldn't remember whose beer was what, and he'd start drinking my beer. So every time he'd drink my beer, he'd make him get me another one. And another one, and another one. So at this point, I'm passing out in his lap. Yeah, so we basically just start going to town, and his friend had left because I'm pretty sure he didn't want to hear us banging, which I don't blame him either. And so, like, I'm laying in bed with this guy, and I'm like, I'm just scared you're gonna leave, and blah blah blah, and don't leave me, because I'm just drunk, and I'm a very emotional drunk, and I'm just crying, and he's like cuddling with me, he's like, you're fine. So that happened, and then he had to be at work at 2:30 in the morning, so he cleaned like restaurants or something. So me and Erin's boyfriend leave, and we're walking, and because he freaking, I don't know, like, I was gonna see if he could drive her car, and he was just too fucked up. So we're walking, and it starts fucking raining, and it's January, so I'm freezing my tits off, and I had a hoodie on and boots, so I'm just like, oh god. So we're walking, and it's lightning, and I'm scared, and I'm like, dude, what if this happens? He's like, we're fine, I don't hear any snap, crackles, or pops. So we're about a mile or two down, and we get to the bank, and we just sit there, and I'm like, dude, my legs can't do this anymore, because at this point, from the fun activity I had earlier, and the, like, walking 2 or 3 blocks that we just, no. So, like, we're sitting at the bank, and her boyfriend is like, oh, you need someone that's gonna appreciate you, I think you're gorgeous, you don't know how gorgeous you are, and we sit down, and he's telling me that this guy is married with three kids, and he's telling me that his wife is 52, I believe he said at the time, and this guy was 29 when I met him. Yeah, he was 9 years older than me. I know. So he was like, oh yeah, his wife is like 400 pounds. She's 52. He's like, that's why he was probably like hit on you, because you're young and blah blah and you're pretty. And like, so now he's flirting with me, and I'm like, what the fuck? You just saw me like pound your what? Like, so our plan was to walk down. Oh, we try to call a taxi. We don't know where the fuck we are. We're so drunk. None of us can, like,